the actual answer, but Carnegie Hall began warehousing these studios in the 80s. And the lease actually specified between the Carnegie Hall Corporation and the tenants that they had 30 days, there had to be maintained a substantial balance between artistic tenants and non-artistic tenants. If Joseph had a studio and I had a studio and Joseph left, they had 30 days to fill that with another tenant. If it wasn't filled within 30 days, they had an additional 30 days obligated with this lease to fill it with an artistic tenant at 25% of the market value of the studio, and then after that, they could then rent it to a commercial tenant. They did not follow that at all for 25 years. So I'm mentioning this because the distance between when a lot of those tenants were in the building was far removed. Now there's also Carnegie Hall itself is a very powerful organization, a very powerful worldwide name, and there were people who were afraid of losing their performance rights in the concert hall. There were members of the tenants who were living in the building who did not join on to the tenants' organizations and did not fight, only because they were feared for themselves of losing the opportunity to perform in the concert hall. And I think that fear had a lot to do with it. That's the best way I can answer that.
There was a rally at City Hall that John Turturro led. It was signed by 70 actors from Hollywood and in film and in theater. And Mayor Bloomberg didn't respond to that letter, which was read and sent to him many times because we kept getting signatures. We sent it to him at least 50 times.
We asked, Janice Orlandi was instrumental in this, and there was a letter signed by dozens of celebrities, and the mayor totally ignored this issue.
At that rally, there were 25 press people, and only a very small amount of the press was covered, and it was always slanted towards Carnegie Hall, saying that they were going to build a music school, and they kept covering up the real issue that was going on, that we were losing these studios. So,
well, Janice, I just want to add to that. One of the main supporters of us was City Councilman, now Public Advocate, Bill de Blasio. And we asked, and through Bill de Blasio, we somewhat begged for a public hearing. I mean, there's public hearings in this city about dog poop on the sidewalks, you know. This is the Carnegie Hall studios. We deserve a public hearing. So we went to, through Bill de Blasio, to Dominic Recchia, who is the city councilman from overseeing the Coney Island area, and he told Bill de Blasio's staff, tell John Turturro he's not getting a public hearing. We were denied a public hearing, and the one meeting that we did have between the Carnegie Hall Corporation, the tenants, and the elected officials who chose to show up, was only occurred on Carnegie Hall turf, based on the fact that we all had to sign confidentiality agreements that we could never even talk about the meeting ever happening. It was all kept under because Sanford Weill had total control over this, and the elected officials were influenced by the power of Sanford Weill. And that rooftop terrace, which has not been formally put out into the press, except in the Associated Press after I gave them the information, that rooftop terrace is being named the Sanford and Joan Weill Rooftop Garden, and the 9th floor is going to be a restaurant for fundraising purposes. Right here, we have a question.
Really good question.
Yes.